There is a common belief in New Age that visualizing white light and being high vibration will protect you from any and all spiritual warfare, that it will protect you from any negative spiritual interference from any sources, any entities, black magic, curses, all of the things. Are you someone who believes that? Do you believe that visualizing white light and or being high vibe protects you? Hi everybody, my name is Maya Zahira with PsychicProtectionSanctuary.com, and I have devoted the last 30 years to being a spiritual teacher and guide, and the last decade specifically to the area of helping people with issues of spiritual warfare. So I am here to tell you that white light visualizations and being high vibe, neither of those things protect you. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but here's the thing. Believing in those things, like, you can believe in those things as much as you want to, but I get people every day showing up in my email inbox and contacting me on my YouTube channel and other places online, telling me that they've had this spiritual warfare situation and they don't understand why it happened because they were high vibe, or they were visualizing white light, or their teacher told them to visualize white light and it didn't work. And they go into existential crisis because they're like, the things that I was taught by my spiritual teachers, the things that I was taught in New Age, apparently don't work. Apparently it's not true. Apparently the ways that I thought that I was protected, I wasn't protected. And so I care enough about you to tell you the truth so that you can have genuine, true protection. I do talk about this topic in my book, The Psychic Attack Sourcebook, which you can find on Amazon and on Audible. So let's talk a little bit about this false belief, and then I'm going to give you some concepts that actually do work. So, as we've already said, white light visualizing white light around your aura, it doesn't protect you. In fact, what I have found in my encounters with different kinds of entities and observing what different practices people are using, what I have found over and over again is that the people who are visualizing white light around their aura, white light specifically, because there are other colors of light that we can work with effectively. White light, this color that's so popular in New Age, visualizing white light, that color specifically, white light, calls in, it draws in, it attracts false light entities. I have a lot of videos on my channel about false light entities, but just in short, false light entities are any type of negative being. It could be a demon, it could be a jinn, it could be a dark elemental spirit, it could be a human ghost, and it could be an alien. There are all these different types of negative beings. A false light entity is any type of negative being that is pretending to be a being of light. So all these people who are visualizing white light, they end up very infested with all these false light entities, all these demons and jinn and dark spirits that are posing as benevolent ancestors, benevolent ETs that are channeling messages to them, so-called ascended masters, their spirit guides, and so on, that are actually not any of that. They are actually dark beings that are doing a very good, effective job of posing as beings of light. So white light itself actually attracts these imposter entities. So not only does visualizing white light not protect you, it actually causes problems in your energy field. So I strongly encourage you to stop using white light in your field. Okay. The other concept, being high vibe. If you're just high vibration, then dark entities or dark energies can't touch you. That's not true. Like I mentioned before, I have people contact me all the time who are in deep existential crisis because they're like, I don't understand. I'm such a high vibration person and I'm not dabbling in any dark arts. So how did this horrible spiritual warfare situation happen to me? And it's like cognitive dissonance. They don't understand why this is happening. But it actually, there's a reason why this happens. It's that when people are high vibe, then that actually attracts negative entities. And I don't hear hardly anybody talking about this or any of this. I don't hear anybody saying this. Everybody's like, be high vibe because dark entities can't match up with anything that's high vibe. Well, guess what? Not only do like energies attract, but also opposites attract. Like, haven't you noticed that in your life? Opposites attract. Well, that also occurs energetically. Opposites attract. And dark entities are very attracted to those who are very high vibe or have a very bright light. Dark entities are very, very drawn to that because they see that light as a threat. Like, dark forces in general don't want humanity to thrive or evolve. So anyone who's very light polarized, who's very high vibe, most likely is going to be attacked. And I've got bad news for you. If you're like, oh, I'm high vibe and I'm never attacked. Well, I'm sorry to say, and I'm going to tell you the truth. You probably think you're not being attacked because you have very convincing false light entities infested in your energy field. So that's the tough love, the hard truth that I'm going to give you. And I know some people are going to throw tomatoes at me for saying that. But I believe in telling you the truth, and I'm going to keep speaking this for decades longer. I'm going to keep repeating it because I see how people are hurt by these false teachings. So again, being a high vibe, it actually doesn't protect you. I'm not saying you shouldn't be high vibe. You can be high vibe. You can be your authentic vibration, whoever you are. I'm not saying you should try to lower your vibration. Be your authentic self, but just know that those who authentically have a natural high vibration are often going to be spiritually attacked. So that often goes hand in hand. So if you have been spiritually attacked, it's not that you're low vibe. It's not that you've done anything wrong. Actually, you've done things right by being your authentic self as a being of light with an important mission in the world. But it makes you a threat to the dark forces. So does being high vibe protect you? No, it doesn't. But at the end of this video, I am going to tell you some things that can be helpful. But first, I want to take a moment and talk about how prevalent it is for spiritual teachers to teach this misinformation about just visualize white light or just be high vibe. Dark entities can't touch you if you're high vibe. I see that over and over again. And in fact, seeing some videos online was what prompted me to get on and do this video. I saw some things a couple weeks ago. I like to give things a little time to percolate. So I saw a few videos and I was like, oh my God, that's such false information and it's so harmful. I waited until I didn't feel triggered anymore, gave it some more thought, and now here I am doing this video. But even a couple weeks ago, I had some of my students contacting me and saying, so-and-so, a really popular spiritual thought leader or spiritual influencer is like telling people to visualize white light and be high vibe, and like giving advice to this one person who's under attack and telling him to visualize white light. And my students were like genuinely like upset and worried about this person being given this bad advice. But what I know from the wisdom that I've gained over the years is that, well, first of all, none of us are going to benefit from going in and hijacking someone else's online influencer videos. So like we didn't do that. But the fact is that people who know the truth, like the students who work with me, are genuinely troubled by these harmful and misguided teachings, because the person who was under attack, who was being given this bad information, is going to continue to go in loops and not get the help that they need. But here's the thing. I don't think that any of these teachers, or I should say most of these teachers are not trying to hurt anyone. They're not saying to themselves, I'm going to intentionally spread false information that's not helpful, that actually hurts people. I don't think that most of them are saying that or having that intention. I think what's happening is one of two things. The spiritual teachers who are sharing this misinformation, that white light will protect you or being high vibe will protect you, these spiritual teachers are either, number one, simply regurgitating popular spiritual information because they don't actually know what works. They don't actually know anything about spiritual warfare, about psychic protection, like the depth of psychic protection. They're just parroting whatever is being said over and over again on the interwebs, okay? Or number two, if the teacher says, well, I channeled this information or I brought it through from my remote viewing session or whatever, those types of folks are being given false information by false light channels, false light entities, okay? Because if they're saying that their spirit guides told them this, it's completely false. Authentic spirit guides don't give you false information. Authentic spirit guides are not going to say that white light will protect you. Like a false light entity will tell you that because they love white light. Okay, like false light entity will give you all sorts of misinformation so that it can keep you hooked. Okay, so that's a little bit about what I think about the teachers who are sharing the misinformation. And no offense, not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I hope that people eventually learn what actually helps. And now most of the material that I give in my online programs is all about what helps, all the methods, step by step, of what you can do to protect yourself. It's not fear-based. It's actually very grounded, centered, embodied practices to help you be truly empowered so that you're not attracting these dark forces, these spiritual warfare experiences. If you want more information about those programs, I have 2 programs right now. You can find it at my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. But before we go, let's talk about 2 very tiny tips that I can give you. I know these are tiny, but I think they're going to be really helpful for you to help replace this misguided advice that you've been getting. So instead of visualizing white light, instead of just being like, I'm going to be high vibe, no negative entities can touch me. Instead, Replace visualizing white light with calling in golden, metallic golden light. This is divine light, whatever your faith practice might be. This is a very holy light, and it is protective. It's filled with wisdom, groundedness, healing energy. So instead of white light, try visualizing golden light. If you just visualize golden light, is that going to protect you from everything? No, it's not going to protect you from everything at all times, but it's definitely helpful. And you can even call that liquid metallic golden light into your entire home, and it will dissolve all sorts of negative entities and intrusions. So it's like a very simple practice that's very helpful and easy. So I recommend replacing the white light with golden light. Now about being high vibe. I'm going to recommend now, instead of focusing on being high vibe, which tends to have a bit of a disembodied, ungrounded type of aspect to it. Being high vibe tends to focus on being like way up in the upper realms. And I'm going to suggest that you consider bringing your energy, not lowering your vibration, but bringing your energy into your physical vessel, bringing your energy into your body so that you are fully present within your being. And I also recommend grounding and anchoring to the earth. The more present and grounded and anchored you are, you become like a tree, like a very strong tree with strong roots, a big, strong trunk, so that when the wind comes along, that tree is not going to blow over. But if you're up in the higher realms and you're not anchored, it's very easy for even a minor psychic attack to totally blow you over. So I'm going to recommend grounding, presence. The other thing that I would say is, for those who are hanging out in the upper realms all the time, it's equivalent to you're away from home and you've left all the doors and windows wide open so that any robbers or like mischievous people can show up and like steal things from your house or just like destroy everything inside. Like, do you want to leave your home vacant, or do you want to be home so that, and like the doors are closed and everything is secure? That's equivalent to you being fully present within yourself, being fully present, and you can remain calm if some negative energy is sent your way. When you are in a calm and grounded state, a lot of that minor negative energy is just going to bounce off because you're so anchored. So once again, instead of white light, consider using golden light. Instead of being high vibe, consider being grounded, centered, and fully present within your being, fully present within yourself. I hope you found this useful. I welcome your comments and your questions. I do check comments and questions a couple times a week on my YouTube channel and other places as well. So thank you very much for being here and for being a questioner. I always encourage you to question everything. Anything that is a commonly held belief, whether it's in New Age, religion, or just society in general, I invite you to question all beliefs that are at your foundation. Ask yourself, is that really true? Is that really true? Is that really true? And I invite you to seek and find what is really true. As always, I'm sending you all my love.